Hello there, family. I just got back from Dr. Stephen Greer's presentation here in St. Pete, Florida, and wanted to just make a request for all of those people in the UFO community, UAP community, whether you are considering yourself as spiritual, or whether you're considering yourself in the scientific community, or whether you're considering yourself part of the political scene. We are all on this disclosure train together. And it's about time that we start to really come together. Listening to Dr. Stephen Greer was exciting and interesting and captivating, but it's so interesting how much knowledge and information has been shared through these extraterrestrials directly through channelings over the last 40 years since the harmonic convergence in 1987. And this information is not in their lap. Most of that information is just within the spiritual community. There is a wealth of information on the technology, whatever in the political community that they've been able to gather through whistleblower testimony of this technology and that hidden technology and all the things that they have. The information that has been shared through the spiritual community, through the extraterrestrials that are communicating through the process of channeling, which in the political community sometimes is often overlooked because they don't validate that as a real form of contact. They validate physical forms of contact only. No, I'm not saying every person, but this is kind of generally how it's seen, is if you have a physical contact with some being, okay, you've had contact, you're a contactee. But if you've had astral experiences in your dream states, or you've had, remote view experiences, they are not considered as valid as the physical contact, which is so backwards in my humble thoughts, as well as many people, I would venture to guess, in the spiritual community. Because first and foremost, a foundational understanding is that we are multidimensional beings. And therefore, our true self is already non-physical. Telepathy is the natural form of communication. And our non-physical self is who we truly are. This physical reality that we deem as physical is not even really physical. It's an illusion. So these are foundational concepts that are already aware of in the, you could say, spiritual community. Not everyone, and everyone in the spiritual community is not even on board on those levels of consciousness. Some are still playing out in the duality consciousness in the spiritual community as well. So the duality consciousness is basically, you could say, the concept of right and wrong, bad and good, black and white, either or mentality. It's basically past and future. It's the concept when you understand the fundamental shape of all creation is the triad. It's the Trinity. Then you can understand that duality is the base of that triad. Duality consciousness or 3D consciousness is the line. It's linear thinking. It's black and white, good and bad, either or. And that understanding is a valid perspective. But it's the base of the triad. When you ascend your consciousness to a more expanded viewpoint from the apex of the triangle or the triad, you can see both sides, but you have the power of paradox, the balance in the center to choose. And that is the neutral observer standpoint. That is the 0 point. That is your true self. And from this place of the apex, then you don't invalidate any of that. You just simply accept that that's a choice. So what I'm saying to you is there are people in the spiritual community that are beyond the duality concept of 3D. They're living fourth density experience already. They're living fourth density life and higher. I don't want to say higher in regards to hierarchy, but a more expanded viewpoint from the higher densities, which means basically a lighter vibration, and therefore not weighed down with the densification of ideas. Things become more fluid, more malleable. So what I would like to see is my request for those on the disclosure train, everyone, whether you consider yourself a channeler, spiritual, tarot card reader, whether you are Dr. Stephen Greer follower, or whether you have your own podcast that you're doing disclosure information out on, or whether you are in this spiritual community. Thank you to Dr. Stephen Greer. Thank you for those in the spiritual community as well as the political community that Dr. Stephen Greer is leading. Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Bruce Lipton, Nassim Haramein. These are pioneers in those in the scientific community who are bridging the gap between science and spirituality. That's already unfolding, even though that's not the majority right now in this timeline anyway. But it's beautiful to see that they are leading the way for science and spirituality to merge. Now it's time to have a roundtable discussion between the political community, who's gathering all the whistleblower testimony from people in the alphabet agencies, the government, secret government, shadow government stuff. It's time to bring that out and share information. In the spiritual community, the ETs are directly communicating through the channeling process. So we're getting a lot of information that is being downloaded over 40 years already since the harmonic convergence of 1987. And that information started to come through in channelings in all different forms, reaching all the different ways that people can resonate with. And they can find something that they can say, I resonate to that one, maybe not that one, but that channeler really hits home for me. Great, follow that, what's relevant for you. But let's do that now by cross-combining the spiritual community, the political community, and the scientific community in this disclosure movement. We are all on the disclosure train. It's time to bring the information together. Let's come together. I truly believe this is what the Interstellar Alliance Social Experiment Step 8 is really asking us as humanity to come together. And these are the key groups that are still feeling segregated even today, even as I was able to witness this disconnect in the Dr. Stephen Greer presentation tonight, whom I really respect him. I'm sending that invitation out, whoever this resonates with. Let's see how we can create this and co-create this together. Let's maybe create a podcast and invite Dr. Stephen Greer, maybe invite Nassim Haramein, maybe invite Daryl Anka from Bashar Channelings, maybe invite a few others from the Yael, from Pleiadians, whoever you would like to bring in. I think this is an important step for all of us to come together, is to be able to have these conversations. Whatever we differ on, it's important that we come together on the similarities. Thank you for allowing me to share this. Infinite blessings. Until the next now.